So, it all begins. It is officially on. The 2022 Cruiser Racer Crosser is under construction. I've done this a handful of times, so there's nothing new to me. I know these conversion kits well. And the routine is always the same. Strip the canvas, then inspect the canvas. A quick look at the chain, and a test of the bottom bracket bearings. Oh yeah, upcycle these pedals. I don't want them. So, I expect to run into some issues with this build. There are always problems with building, but the amount of problems are always drawn at a limit. Invested in my education and willingness to gain experience and dedication to developing skills. This is the journey behind the Cruiser Racer electric bike brain. My first challenge, installing a crown fork. First, I need to find the right headset to convert from a threaded to a threadless. So I'm removing these cups to see if I can find a threadless set that will fit this frame. This is a headset removal tool. It is essentially a metal pole that has 3 to 4 slits that span the width of the cups. With a hammer or blunt object, the cups are removed. Next, I need to measure the diameter of the head tube. The headset has a diameter of 1.44 inches or 36.57 millimeters, which is not a standard size. This is the size of older BMX and twin bikes, and as I found, it's a very hard part to find for a threadless headset. My only option was to use the original cups and MacGyver a headset together from used parts I found at Second Cycle. This is a headset press tool. It presses the cups into the head tube. These are not the right cups, but the procedure is all the same. Like I said, these aren't the right cups. I'm here in the shop working out a new challenge that I found with this cross racer build. So recently I took off the cups for the headset, and the idea is to change this headset, which was a threaded headset, to a threadless headset. Now, why would I want to change my whole headset or my setup of my head tube from a threaded headset to a threadless headset? Well, first of all, let me go through differences. A threaded headset looks like this. Well, just like that. This fork has threads on it. So that's a threaded headset. And this threadless fork is for a threadless headset. So what's the difference, right? Well, the obvious difference is one has threads and one doesn't. But once again, why, right? Well, the threaded headset is kind of an old standard. You don't find in modern bikes headsets that are threaded much anymore, unless they're more, some road bikes may still do it, but I wouldn't take my word for it. I'm not an expert in all bikes. But the bikes that I work with, mountain bikes, more modern mountain bikes, do not have threads on the headset. They have a threadless headset set up mainly because more suspension forks are threadless. With the threadless headset setup, in my opinion, you can just do a little more with that particular setup. You have a chance to ride upright a little more. You can manipulate the structure of your bike with headset spacers, which will give you height. Or you can do an extender, a headset extender, which will allow you to ride more upright. I like to ride upright. And when it comes to my cruisers, because for one example, mountain bikes, many mountain bikes come with suspension forks. You've got your front suspension, which is more of a, straight, stiff suspension, or you can get, older bikes have front forks that have stiff suspension, and then newer bikes have more, mountain bikes that have front fork suspension. There's hard tails and then there's soft tails where the suspension is in the rear or it is not, it is straight frame, and that would be a hard tail, where soft tail is actually one that has a suspension in the rear as well. So get back on subject with the forks. The reason why I want to change the fork on this bike is because it is more of a stiff fork. I want suspension on this crosser because this is a cross between a cruiser and a cafe racer. I want suspension like the cafe racer, but I want to ride upright like a cruiser. Makes sense? Because that's what I'm going for. I needed to change the fork on this because it's obviously not suspension. The hard one, the original fork, is a standard bike fork. So yeah, the original is a standard bike fork, where I'm looking to do that, right? So headsets come in two different styles. The whole set up for a headset comes in two different styles. There's threadless and there's threaded. And then there's two main sizes, 1 inch, 1/8 inch. Here's the problem that I ran into. This headset is 1 1/4 inches, which is standard for BMX type bikes, which normally BMX normally have hard forks in the front and hard forks in the front, and their headset is 1 1/4 inch. Sometimes smaller, a little smaller, sometimes a little bigger, not really. I can't find a headset anywhere for a 1 1/4 inch head tube. There's, with that 1 1/4 inch translates to 32 millimeters metric, right? It's been quite a task trying to find anyone that carries this size headset tube. The problem that I had was finding a headset setup where I get cups, where I get bearings, I get a crown race, and I get a dust cap, plus I call it like a plug, because it kind of goes on top of all that, sandwiches and brings it all together, compressing it. But the compression, I would call the compression screw that brings it all together. I can't find the size. That was my problem, finding the proper size. So now that I've talked all that up and spent a whole lot of time trying to explain what's going on, let me tell you what my solution is. Hey, you. Oh, me? Yes, you. Do you enjoy the content on this channel? Would you like to help us grow? Well, finger the like button and subscribe to this channel. The YouTube algorithm likes to reward these types of behaviors, so don't hold back. Thanks for your support. Now, back to the show. All right, currently in this soap soup, I've got a few things soaking or cleaning so that I'm ready to use them here to rebuild this headset. Now, with a threaded headset comes 2 cups, which are fitted specifically for your particular frame. These are 32 millimeter or 1 1/4 inch cups, and these are the ones that I need. What I'm going to do is reuse these cups because, yeah, it's kind of the best thing to do when you can't find what you need. So you've got 2 cups. And now I'm just cleaning all the old grease off of them. So I've got new grease that I'm applying. It needs fresh grease. All right, 2 cups. 1 bottom seal. Crown race. Bearings. All right. We've got gaskets. This here is a top cap and a lock nut. And how this goes threaded would be assembling from the top. I would go gaskets if needed here. All right, so first, top up, from the top down, I should say, we've got our lock ring, we've got our top cap or our top race. The race is here. Then we've got a bearing. It's more this way. Got your cups. Top cup, bottom cup, bearing, washer or dust cap. Inside the dust cap goes the race, the bottom race, and this is essentially how the threaded headset works. Now what I'm going to do to make this threadless is I'm going to lose some parts with an addition of one other. So to make this a threadless headset, I'm still going to need my crown race. I'm going to need my dust cap. I'm going to need my bearings, of course, because bearings allow things to spin. I'm going to need both of these cups because I can't find cups that match for a threadless system. The other bearing, I'm going to lose these two pieces because I no longer have a threaded system, and inside of here these have threads, so I no longer need this system. And I'm going to replace that with this top cap, or this dust cap, this gasket, and compression head. Now, is this going to work? I don't see why not, but there are no guarantees. We interrupt this program for a word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is Cruiser Racer. Cruiser Racer is more than just a channel on YouTube. It is an entire platform based on electric bike building and enthusiasm. The first way you can help support this channel is by liking this video and subscribing. And if you'd like to go a little further, check out our store on Teesprings. In the store, you'll find eye-popping and authentic designs from the Cruiser Racer line and the Electron Rebels. This is a great way to support this entire platform and help us grow. So head on over to the store and check out our designs today. Now back to the show. Here we are with the headset press. This is the press that this tool is going to compress the two cups into the head tube. And it's necessary because these don't exactly drop right in. If they just drop right in, they come right out, obviously. So you need some pressure to pull them together, and that's what I'm doing here. You've got a plate here, a plate down at the bottom. It's got a screw. Just gonna tighten it up like a nutcracker and watch it come together. There's grease involved, so I like to use gloves. There's nothing wrong with grease. I just don't like the smell. All right. This is one way that it can be done, but there's always a better way. Alright, so now I need to set the crown race on the steer tube. The tool that I'm holding in my left hand is a crown race setting tool. This tube will allow me to set the crown race on the steer tube evenly with a few taps of the hammer. The pressure of the taps will push the race all the way down to the bottom of the steer tube, locking it in place. This step can also be achieved with a rubber mallet. On the next episode of Building the Brand, I will continue to navigate through the challenges of installing a crown fork, as well as the conversion kit motor, and you don't want to miss it. Hey enthusiasts, thanks for watching and rocking with me this year. I hope you're enjoying the journey as much as I am. Just keep in mind that this journey is a marathon, not a sprint. And it's not about the destination, it's about the path that we're taking to get there. So, I'll see you on the next one, and I hope you enjoy the ride. Until then, stay safe and ride easy.